Welcome to Lesson 2 of Whiskey in the Jar. If you missed Lesson 1 or you want to jump ahead to one of the other 8 lessons, just click on the link below. My sheet music is there for you as well. And we ended off Lesson 1 on a C. So we're going to start on that C we ended off. And this is the Lesson 2 chunk we'll work on. Let me play that again for you. So there's a couple doublings in there which we'll just leave aside for the moment, and we'll add those in at the end. And let's just get the basic notes here. So we're on C, and we're going from C up to E. Now we worked on the E to C transition in Lesson 1, so C to E is just going to be the opposite. So just rewind that little Lesson 1 chunk. No, I'll teach it to you now. So we're on C. That's the transition we're doing. So what's happening with the fingers? Middle 2 fingers of the bottom hand are dropping. Ring finger of the top hand is coming up. Also coming up is our pinky finger of the bottom hand. So our bottom hand needs to get to that low A position while the ring finger comes up on the top hand. So a little bit of a tricky transition there, but I know you can do it. From there, we're going to ignore the doubling for a moment. We're just going to go from E up to F. Pretty easy transition there. I think we even did that back in Lesson 1. So here's what we got so far, starting on that C. We ended off on Lesson 1. Oh, and I pulled the doubling in there on you, so I'll leave that doubling out. That's all we got so far. So C up to E, then up to F. Now we have another F right in a row. So that next F, we got to separate it from the first F. We're going to do that with a G grace note. Up and down with the top finger. That's all we're doing. Thumb is staying on the back, just the top finger is moving. So here's what we got so far. One more time. Okay, after that G grace note with the top finger, then we go up to G. So this time we lift it, but it stays off, and now we're on a G instead of just doing that quick little G grace note. So now we lift off and we stay on that G. So we got the little G grace note first, and then we go to G and we stay there. So let me play what we have so far. One more time. Okay, my high G's a little warbly. I'm just getting a little bit extra moisture on my reed. You can wipe it off carefully. Just don't wreck your reed. If you do, you'll have to buy a new one. Or build one yourself, I suppose. So we've gotten to that high G. Now we're going back to the F. There's a half doubling there, but we're going to ignore it. We'll come back to it later in the lesson. So we're just going from high G back to F by dropping down that top finger. So that little bit we just did. So that's what we got. And let me play what we got so far, starting at that C. Let me do that again. From there, we're going F down to C. So lots of fingers on the move here again, but if you've practiced the E to C transition, it's not that different. The bottom hand's doing the same thing. It's going to that C, pinky fingers coming down while the middle 2 fingers come up. Top hand, 2 fingers are having to come down now instead of just the ring finger. let me play the lesson 2 chunk again for you, and then I'll add it to the lesson 1 chunk. One more time, that lesson 2 chunk. And if we play lesson 1 and 2 together, and then we'll add in those doublings in a moment. I'll play that once more before we add in the doublings, but again, go to the link below, like, subscribe the video, check out the link for the sheet music and all the lessons of the Whiskey in the Jar workshop. So one more time, lesson 1 and 2 without the doublings, then we'll add in the doublings. Now the doublings, we have a F doubling from E to F. So that's the doubling we're going to tackle first. So we're on the E already. First part of the doubling, we got to lift that top finger, then the second note comes up, and then the top finger comes back down again. So that's essentially just a G grace note from E up to F. So that's the first part of the doubling. Second part of the doubling, that top finger does its own up and down after it's already done that first bit. So if we add those two together, and that's our doubling. And we have one other doubling. Let me see if you can spot it. I'll play for you the lesson 1 and 2 with both doublings. Did you hear it? If you missed it, don't feel bad. It's a half doubling, so maybe you half got it, half didn't. So the next one is from the G down to the F. So all we're doing, normally we just drop that finger. When we're doing the half doubling, we're doing another up and down to get that half doubling sound. And then we drop down to C afterwards, just like before. So I'll play through a little bit slower this time. Lesson 1 and 2, all of line 1. And again, check out the link below. If it's just the sheet music you're after, you can find that. If it's all the lessons, you can check that out too. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment below if you're excited to learn Whiskey in the Jar, or if there's another tune you can't wait to learn and you'd love to see on the Get Bagpipe Ready channel. So here is lesson 1 and 2 together with all those doublings.